Artificial intelligence. I mean, you see the term AI just about everywhere, right? From news headlines to your social media feed. But what is it really behind all the hype? In this explainer, we're going to strip away all the confusion and get right to the core of what AI actually is.
So, have you ever stopped to wonder what's really going on when you interact with an AI? Is it some kind of thinking machine? A brand new form of consciousness? Well, the real answer is a lot simpler, and honestly, it's even more fascinating.
To really get a handle on this, we've got to start with the basics. So, first things first, what in the world is AI?
Okay, so at its absolute core, AI is all about creating computer systems that can do things we usually associate with human intelligence. We're talking about tasks like spotting patterns in a sea of data, making sense of huge amounts of information, and even learning from examples to predict what might happen next. And this right here, this gets to the heart of the single biggest misconception about AI. It is not thinking or feeling the way a person does. It has zero awareness. Underneath all that complexity, it's really just math. I mean, yeah, it's incredibly complicated math, running at mind-boggling speeds, but it's still just math.
All right, so if it's all just math, how does it crank out results that seem so, intelligent? Let's pull back the curtain and see how it works.
It's basically a three-step dance. First, the AI just inhales a massive amount of data. We're talking text, images, numbers, you name it. Then, second, it gets to work identifying all the patterns hidden inside that data. And finally, based on all those patterns it found, it produces an output. That could be an answer to your question, a video recommendation, or, the fastest route on your map app. So that feeling of intelligence that we get from an AI, it really boils down to just these three things. First, the sheer scale of the data it can process. Way more than a human ever could. Second, the incredible speed it operates at. And third, its almost uncanny knack for pattern recognition. It finds connections that a human brain would probably just never, ever spot on its own.
Okay, this leads us to a really, really important comparison. How does this whole mathematical process actually stack up against our own minds, against the human brain?
This is probably the biggest myth out there. The idea that AI is basically just an electronic brain, that its processes are just like ours. But, as you're about to see, that couldn't be further from the truth.
And this chart, it lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got AI, which is all about mathematical processing and pattern recognition to predict what's most likely to come next. But on the other side, you have the human brain. We actually understand meaning. We have beliefs and desires. We experience emotions. They're operating in two completely different leagues.
This quote from our source material just nails it. When an AI puts a sentence together, it's not because it understands the truth or has some kind of moral compass. Nope, it's simply predicting the most statistically probable sequence of words, all based on the mountain of data it was trained on. Okay, so if the concept of AI has been around for a while, why does it feel like it just completely exploded into our lives, like overnight?
Well, the truth is, the idea of AI has been around since the 1950s. For decades, though, it was pretty much stuck in research labs, held back by the limits of the technology at the time. But then, in the last decade or so, this perfect storm of factors came together and just changed everything. It really all comes down to these three key ingredients. First, data. We are creating unbelievable amounts of it every single day, and that data is the fuel that AI runs on. Second, computing power got exponentially faster and way, way cheaper. And third, the internet and our smartphones put these incredibly powerful tools right into the hands of billions of people.
So, with all that said, where does this technology actually pop up in your daily life? That's the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle.
Believe it or not, AI isn't some far-off futuristic thing that's coming someday. It's already here. It's woven right into the fabric of your daily routine, and a lot of the time, it's working completely silently in the background.
I mean, just think about it. When you type something into a search engine and get that perfect result right at the top, that's AI. When your navigation app tells you to turn left to avoid a sudden traffic jam, that's AI. Or how about when your bank flags a weird transaction on your credit card, or a streaming service recommends a movie that you end up absolutely loving? Yep, you guessed it. That is all AI in action.
So, the next time you pick up your phone or browse the web, just remember what's going on behind the curtain. It's not magic, and it's definitely not a thinking, feeling consciousness. It's just data, patterns, and incredible speed. Now that you know what to look for, the only real question is,
where are you going to spot it next?